Welcome to tutorial 3 of the Crash Course QGIS series, where I'll be continuing where we left off on tutorial 2. So to duplicate, we're going to use the Polygon shapefile for that. So heading over to the selection tool, selecting the polygon, heading over to the which was the move option, but it has a drop down arrow on the side there, as you'll see. Copy and move features. So we'll just zoom out a little bit. So if you just click it, you'll see that the ghost now heads across wherever our mouse is. You just click that down. Now, it's not one of these things where you click it and then it's finished. It gives you the option to duplicate many more times. So if we do that, just for the sake of this, and then when you're happy with that, right click. If we head over to the Polytemp shapefile just at the top here and then go to attribute table, you'll see that all that data that we've just duplicated has been duplicated in the attribute table. That means they're now all individual shapes. So if we head over to the selection tool, if I just bring that back up again, in fact, what I'll do is I'll move this just over here. Yeah, so as we can just select across here, there you go. And you'll be able to see which ones are working with. So a fun little fact for you, if you ever have a large data set that you can't find a particular object in, just head back into the, there we go, head back into the attribute table. So let's say that we want to go to number 1. So if I select it, and with this data file for the sake of the argument is like 1,000 shapes large. If you head over to the magnifying glass just here, it will zoom directly to it. So again, heading down here to number 6, heading up to the magnifying glass, and there we go. It will drag the screen directly to where that shapefile is. Cutting is an action that can only be performed on line and polygons. So if I just show you here, so we've moved it now for whatever particular reason. Let's say that it's overtaken this road here, and we want to adjust it. If we head over to this option just here, which is the scissors tool, make sure that the object is selected. And then click where you want the cutting function to be performed, heading through the shape. What we'll do is we'll stick it to the road for now. Once you're happy with it, you'll need to click outside of the shape before you can cut through. So we've just done that. When you're happy with it, right click and you'll see that it now changes it to the original color when it's deselected, which for me was pink. If you wanted to then get rid of that excess, you can head over to the selection tool, select the piece that you've cut off, and then hit delete. You'll see it's cut that there. So the snapping or tracing allows you to snap to the vertices or to the segments in between lines and polygons, which is the straight edge, for example, here. So to do that, we head over here where the magnet is, click on that. We'll make sure that this is stuck on all layers. We'll set this one here to segment, and then what you want you to do is make sure that enable snapping on intersection is clicked. That allows you to select the options here or where lines and polygons overlap, and then enable tracing. So I'm now going to create a separate Polygon shapefile. So heading back up here, I'm going to call this one Polytemp2. Geometry type, call that Polygon. I'm just going to keep everything as it is. And then I'm going to just create a shape heading through. So let's say this could be a road shapefile that you've received on one of your sites. Let's just right click that there. Okay, cool. So making sure that we've got Polytemp, which is the first option here, which is the yellow box underneath it, making sure we've got that selected. Then heading over to the scissors option, we're going to start right on the edge here, just at the top where the Polytemp 2, which I probably should have changed the naming profile, but it's a bit different now. And then I'm going to click down here, and you'll see that what's happened is running along here, it's traced it. So where the red dot is, where the red dotted line is, you'll see that it's now at this vertices here. So if I head down to here, it will then trace all along there, and then I'm going to do the same down here. And then I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click here, and you can see that it's now traced along there as well. And then I'm just going to click at the top here as well. And then when I'm happy, right click, and it will now have cut that line. So if I just, over here, if I turn off Polytemp 2, you see that's now cut that line straight through in the shape that we previously had. I'll just select that to show you. And then let's say that that was a road. If we just click on delete, there you go. Now it's deleted in the shape that we just created. Merging is a way that you can take several different polygons on your map and then bring them back into one. So if I Control Z and just bring back that shape that we've just cut, if I highlight everything again, heading over to this option up here, which is the merge option, click on that. It'll ask you which feature you'd like to take attributes from. So if I just keep all that, I'm just going to click on one here. Click on take attribute from selected feature and then click OK. Everything will then merge back to the way it was. And again, if you're not happy with that and you want to undo that, press Control Z and then everything will go back to the previous step. So you're finishing editing and you want to save your shapefile. This is what ours looks like, Polytemp here. So let's say that we want to turn Polytemp into Polyperm. We'll right click, make permanent. It'll ask you the format here. See there's several different formats that you can work with. where it says file name, just here where there's the triple dot, right click on that. So we've got QGIS shapes here. File name, I'm just going to call this one polyperm. In fact, what I will do is I'm going to click up here and press Control C. Save that, I'll show you that in a second. Click OK, and then it will export that. So if I turn that off there, so if I press Windows key and R for Windows users only, Control and V, that will have the path that we just saved that file to. Right, click on that, and then polyperm. There you go. Highlight everything, drag and drop, and there you go. You'll see that all of our shape files are there. It'll also create 3 separate files. You can just delete 2 of those. Right click and remove layer. So one feature that's missing from QGIS that does exist with other cartography software but is also quite helpful is the autofill polygon. While there isn't a specific tool for autocomplete, there is a slight workaround, but it's not that complex to work with. There are 2 ways that you can activate this for editing. You can press the pen option up here, or you can also right click and head down to toggle editing. Depends how you're feeling really. I alternate between the 2, so if I just activate that now for editing. Next, you want to head over to your snapping toolbar just at the top here, and then you'll see this option here. What you're looking to do is, this is currently selected for allow overlap, but what you want to do is avoid overlap on active layer, so you select that. What I'll do is, I'll just do it between these 2 here, so if I just highlight those. So once the features are highlighted, you head over to the create feature, just over here, and then begin drawing. So what I'll do is, yeah, I'll just do that, and then when you're happy, right click again, and it'll ask you to enter the feature attributes. I'm just going to keep those blank for now. And you could do this multiple times when you're building a shapefile. Say if it's more of a complex site and you're trying to make sure that everything's stuck together. This prevents overlap and it prevents inaccuracies when trying to determine accurate areas. Now this tool is sometimes inconsistent, so you'll need to check. It's always best to save after every polygon that you've created. I know it's not ideal, however it's the best alternative that exists so far. Unless anybody has an alternative, so I'll just draw a couple polygons and then show you. So if I come across here, I'll make sure that that is also selected as well. And then right click. As you can see, I can't even select this, so you'll need to ensure that you save after every step. So if I go to save, yeah, you see, it's a weird one. It's definitely a weird one, so you can't even select it. It's not ideal, but it fits purpose for now. Alternatively, you can use the snapping and tracing tool to create the polygons as you need them. So that concludes tutorial 3. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them in the comment section below. Alternatively, please feel free to message me. If you've enjoyed the tutorial series so far, please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace.